Have you thought about how Samsung and Apple, likes of Ericsson, Facebook, how come they are industry leaders? What is project management? You take your time to explain it. You have two tokens in there, project and management. So what is project first? Talk to the layman. He will tell you any temporary or anything, any endeavor, work effort that has a start or finish, meant to create a specific purpose, that's a project. Layman's view, and it makes super sense. If you listen to him, he said any endeavor that has a start and a finish. So if you take your time, you see these elements in there. Characteristics of project: temporary, start and a finish. Now, if you want to be technical, PMI will tell you project management is a temporary endeavor, not too far away from the layman's definition. Temporary endeavor means it has a start and a finish. Temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So when you embark on a project, you could basically come up with a product. It could be a service, could be a result. But we are saying is unique. Remember, it has been qualified. Things that flow from project, they are unique. Project itself is unique. Because if we were supposed to have this same meeting, this session, it wouldn't be the same. The time that we started wouldn't be the same. How you started, you can't give me the same statement. The phrase that you used wouldn't be the same. So how I also started wouldn't be the same. So every project is basically unique. That's project. Now, question is, what project do you see around? This session is a project. It has a start and a finish. There's an objective to achieve. What project do you see in your organization? If you think, there are a lot of projects. Think about the wedding that you organized. Project has a start and a finish. Think about the wedding, the party you throw every year. These are projects. In your organization, the meetings, the report you're supposed to deliver to the customer on a monthly basis.
The annual general meetings.
Meetings. The research you embarked on, the marketing campaigns, even elections. So projects are everywhere. We now call it project economy. The rise of project economy. Projects are everywhere. And that is something that we'll be talking about. Now, what is management? We understand project. Now, do we understand management? What is management? Management, if you look it up, the Italians will tell you it's from this word, mana, giari, means to handle. Latin, manus, means hunt. So if you think about this, the layman will tell you, picking these ones. Oh, so if I have a project, it means I trying to handle a temporary endeavor to achieve more objectives. It makes sense.
It makes it clearer.
Yes. Handle. Handle here means to deal with something effectively. Can you handle me? Can you handle it? It means, can you deal with me effectively? So if you are managing a project, can you handle it effectively? That's a layman's view, and it makes sense to me. Now, if you go technical, PMI will tell you project management is application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities in order to achieve your project requirement. Not too far away from the layman's.
Exactly. Let's just bring in a bit more detail.
Yes. So layman says, I need to be able to handle the project in order to achieve more objectives. How do I go about it? PMI says you need skills. You need knowledge. You need tools and techniques. You apply these to your activities in order to achieve your project requirement. So it makes super sense. Once you have a project, you need knowledge. Question is, the project that we see in our organizations, have you got the knowledge to manage them? I like the code that you shared with us. Once it's a project, it has to be managed by project management.
Exactly. So
we run lots of projects, but they go amiss, they go wrong because we don't understand how to manage it, and that's why we're here to talk about it.
I think I can't help thinking that the reason why there's been such a proliferation of the project management training and certification across industry in the last 4 or 5 years is simply because, like you said, we're involved in projects, or projects are thrust upon us in every endeavor of our lives without the necessary preparation. So if it's a temporary endeavor, it has a start and a finish. almost everything is a project, really, if you look at it.
Practically.
Almost everything is a project. And you've got people managing these things. I'm ordering parts from wherever, spare parts from Germany.
Germany or China.
From the beginning of the process to when the goods arrive in my shop. That is a project.
That's a project. Yes, so you need to go through the whole process. Think about it. That's why I said we'll be talking about the principles. What principles do you use? Basic principles. How do I get started? What do I do in the middle? What do I do in the end?
In the end.
So you think about these ones, and that's what we'll bring to them from next week.
Brilliant.
But today we want to talk about why it's important. Now, you mentioned something. Look at the operations like a bank. They handle operations. Operations are the repetitive things that we do. They don't end. They are permanent, semi-permanent. Projects are temporary. So a bank doesn't know when it will end. It makes it an operation. It's an operation-based environment, but they still embark on project. Look at what some of these smart organizations do. Now I'm bringing the awareness to consciousness to that. They, even though they manage operations, this is what they do. Every year, they define exactly what they have to do. Multimedia, so your space, every year you will have a meeting. The managers will start thinking about what to do within the year. Develop budget for that. So there's a timeline. Once you box it, it becomes a project. So this is a clear-cut project. To pull it off, you need project management. So some people will struggle when they don't really understand project management.
Yeah.
So it's becoming vitally important for all of us to understand project management. There are different types of project. We have industrial project, we have management project, we have research. We have the research is more of pure scientific research. We have manufacturing. I engage more in manufacturing project.
Right.
I've done construction project as well, though, because I have a manufacturing company.
Right.
Now, nobody can run away from management project. So that proves the point that everybody needs project management. Look at the market survey you conducted. Could you call this industrial project? No. This is pure management project.
Yeah.
But did you have project management skills to pull it off?
No, you just relied on some knowledge you had from school and common sense and logic.
Common sense. So there's a new discipline for me. It's not documented. We call it the discipline of common sense. If you answer. So yes, I have a temporary endeavor. I want to build my own house. I use a fiancé to build. No plans. I just go to the site. But if you take your time and look into that, we spend more.
We flounder, we spend more, we waste time.
We waste time and all that.
We don't train properly in the process.
Yes. So it's a discipline. It's something that we need to learn and know how to do these ones. And we'll be bringing you we'll be telling you why you need it within the organization. Now, if you asked me to give you an elevator pitch answer, why is project management important in today's business? One word: survival.
That makes sense.
And I started thinking about this. Then I looked into research. What is research talking about? Then I read a book from Pinto Jeffrey. He said, project management is what you need to survive and thrive in today's business. So this is not me talking. This is research knocking on your door. Then a guru called Tom Peters, he's a management guru. He said this: it would take projects rather than operations to drive value. Then quite recently, there was a research from Harvard. They have something called Harvard Business Review. They've done one on project management. So Harvard Business Review Project Management Handbook. If you go into that one, they are telling you if you want to create value, if you want to change, if you want to grow, if you want to expand, if you want to survive, thrive, you need project as opposed to operations. So we use operations to run businesses. We use projects to grow.
Say that again for me. Say it slowly.
We use operations to run the business. Operations maintain the status quo. Projects, they challenge the status quo. So to grow, to come out of your box, you need projects. Now, let me say these one. I listened to one wise man. He said these statement. I think they are very profound. Let's take a listen. He said this: Apple did not collapse BlackBerry. Lack of innovation did.
Yes, I can relate to that.
He added, Google didn't kill Yahoo. Poor strategy did. You have the USD. It didn't kill the CDs. Lack of or inconvenience did. So if you take your time, people are looking for easy ways to do things. They want things that could make life easy for them. Convenience. So question is, are you making life easy for your customers? If you are not, somebody who understands project management could beat you to it.
And you see, it's a very important point you make. People call it competition, they call it whatever, but it comes back to innovation. And like you're saying, now we don't sell products, we don't sell solutions, we sell convenience. I just leave it there.
Yeah.
But what we sell is convenience.
That's it.
And if it's inconvenient to me, I won't look at it again.
That's it. And in project we tie this one to what we refer to as value, benefit. What am I getting? So now we don't focus on output. Output is what you churn out after the project, but what is coming out of the output. So we use the principle, project management principle from PMI. It says focus on value. I call it the rule of value. When you start, right from the beginning, you need to focus on value. It's not just about the output. So example would be the classroom block. We want to build a classroom block for the community. We choose a location far away from the community, society. It's done, nicely done, on time.
In budget.
Quality, yes, within budget, super. But people can't access it. Why? Because it's too far away. Kids don't want to go. So question is, we have a good output, but what is coming out of it?
What value creation?
Yes. No output. No outcome, sorry. So no value, no impact. End of the day becomes a white elephant.
Yeah.
So right from the beginning, if you are planning, you think of value. And project management will teach you these things. That is why if you don't have it, you have a problem. You'll be left behind the curve. Research, I'll be throwing more research at you, talking about it. So survival. You can't survive without project management. Now let's unpack it. I've already talked about what Pinto said. Project management is what modern organizations need to survive and thrive in today's fast-paced, competitive market. I'll take my time to unpack it. Tom Peters also said same. Harvard gurus, they also repeated it. Now let's take our time and break it down. You want to compete, like you said. How do you do it? You've got project to help you come up with product. Now remember, you need to drive with speed. I call it the VAX factor. VAX, VAQQS. Value, affordability, quality, quantity, speed. When I got this, my life changed. Because in my space, I told you I manufacture pallet and furniture. When I started thinking of value, so the product, does it give value to my customers? Does it hold some benefit? Affordability, is it affordable? Not cheap, not the same. So is it affordable?
I'd like you to dwell on that for me at some point when we get interactive. People seem to think that affordability.
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes, I know. Cheap things are not good.
Exactly.
Basically. No, we can't generalize it, but usually cheap things are not good. So I run away from cheap things. If I know it costs around 20,000, telling me you give it to me 20 CDs. That's too cheap.
Somebody said anything that sounds too good to be true probably is.
There's got a gimmick in there. There's a catch somewhere. So you need to be very careful. So we need to drive with speed, and it changed my life. I started delivering product of value, affordable product, quality product. I used project management to do more high volumes, and I drove it with speed. Now, even with quality, we talked about dimensions of quality. Speed is in there. You need to match quality with speed. Look at this. The guy needs it and you have to deliver within 2 weeks. You take your time and do the right job. You get it to him within 3 weeks. Maybe he needed it to achieve something, some objectives.
It was part of a process flow.
Yes, process. So you've delayed it. It's gone. It might not be needed again.
Yeah.
So to compete, you need project management. It takes project management to drive all these ones. Back in the day, if you looked into the competitive model, one could choose only one to stay competitive. So I could go with time. Yeah, I would want to go with time all the time. One could go with low cost. So my products are affordable. One could go with quality. Mine, when it come to me, I give quality. But these days, you can't choose one. To thrive and survive, you need to juggle the four. You need to be looking at value, affordability, quality, looking at speed. That is a toughie. That's a stamper. It's difficult. It's
Because
a difficult proposition.
it puts you ahead of the game.
Yes. And to do this, you need project management. Have you thought about how Samsung and Apple, likes of Ericsson, Facebook, how come they are industry leaders? If you look into this, one major pillar in there is project management. They foreground project. They play up project management. They take it seriously. So they keep honing their project management competencies. There's a term called organizational ambidexterity. So ambidextrous now. So not just one-handed. Using both hands. Even using your legs as well. So you throw everything
You're keeping your eye on many things at the same time.
Yes.
So there's a concurrent development.
Great. So
that brings you phenomenal output.
Super.
Yeah.
So ambidexterity, you are looking at two things, exploration and exploitation. So you start thinking about the skills I already have. So what skills do we have? My people, my resources. What skills do they have? I need to maximize and optimize it. Should be BFM.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is, what can we also bring in to help us grow?
Exactly.
Because we need to develop a system for value delivery. What is missing? What skills do they need more? And organizations are looking into that. When I get into the research and the statistics, you understand this, are looking into bringing more skills. And the skills they think of is more of project management.
Right.
So I spoke to a guy who was going for an interview, and I said this to him, when you go, play up your project management skills. And he asked why. I said, organizations, they've got challenges. They are looking for ways to stay within budget, looking for ways to deliver quality product, reduce the rework, achieve customer satisfaction. This is what project management does.
It almost looks like an impossible uphill task for them.
So if you can go in and tell them you could basically do these things for them, help them manage these areas, they'll ask you why, and you tell them because you've got